So Sonic X Shadow Generations released recently to great acclaim, and I could totally see why. It basically completely reimagines the boost formula, with brand new power-ups that are essentially supposed to be the Wisps, but done, like, way better. And so it got me thinking, what if I were to have my own generations? Wait, I know what you're thinking. Don't you already technically have your own? Yes. Alright, let me rephrase it. What if I were to have my own boost game that's more inspired by Sonic X Shadow Generations? So essentially saying, if Dominick Generations is supposed to be Sonic Generations, then this new game would be based off of Shadow Generations. Hello, and welcome to this new series I'm going to be producing called Dominick's Idea Vault. I've had so many ideas for video games over the years that it's kind of hard to just keep it all to myself. I had to spell out some of them. That's what this entire idea of this series is going to be. Me sharing my ideas for different fan games, or just games in general. Back onto the game topic. The game's title will be Dominick's Identity, because throughout the Dominick and Friends series, especially in the more recent entries, it's kind of been a little more vague on what my lore is, like what am I specifically doing here. It's clear that I'm definitely not human, but what am I in that regards? This game will plan to answer that. The gameplay. The gameplay will be similar to Shadow Generations as stated before, where it would be basically the boost formula. Act 1 is fully 3D and Act 2 is fully 2D. Difference from Shadow Generations is that the boost is going to have a bigger role, so it's going to be a faster boost similar to the original Sonic Generations and even Unleashed. There will be no Doom powers, but there will be something similar to the Doom Wings we'll talk about later. The homing attack will be mapped to a separate button similar to Shadow Generations, because there's going to be a separate ability for jumping 2 times in the air. That being called the Dropout, which not a lot of you would know about, but it did appear in an entry for a YTP collab. I know, weird spot for it to be at, but hey, it's an ability that I established that I have. It's essentially the super peel out mixed in with the drop dash. I kind of figured that'd be obvious. Dominick doesn't have the Chaos Spears like in Shadow Generations, but there will be something similar that you can unlock after every level. That being a bow and arrow. You unlock one after each level, so let's say you complete the first stage, you have 1 arrow. Then if you complete like 5 stages, you have 5 arrows, etc, etc, etc. Pretty simple, right? They can help unlock secret areas, so like, in case you didn't have enough arrows for like level 1 to get to the secret area, after you like complete the game, you might have enough arrows to actually get to that area. It's a nice way of adding replayability to the level. On the topic of secret areas, the collectibles won't be quite as crazy as they were in the previous games. No hidden Shao, no hidden collection keys, no red star rings. However, the green stars from Super Mario 3D World will return. And they essentially act as the collection keys, but there is no restriction. You can do it on whatever chest you want in the White World. Oh yeah, the White World. Just like Shadow Generation, it'll be fully 3D open world area. You know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The stages. Finally, we can now actually move on to the most interesting part about this video. So, the first stage is Dominick's Amusement Park. Yes, that location from one of the earlier Dominick and Friends episodes. Hey, there's a reason I chose this, okay? I chose this stage because it was the first location where Jessica and Jack have met. The idea of this game is that I'm going through different locations where different ships have gone together, or different locations that are related to characters that are in the ships. Jessica and Jack were like one of my earlier relationships I really made within the Dominick and Friends series. I have made several throughout it, but this is like one of the first ones I've really made, so that's why it's at the very first spot. For the record, none of these ships are in a particular order. Dominick's Amusement Park doesn't have a lot to work with, considering it's only ever seen for like a few seconds, and even the map on Gary's mod, it's a little vague. There's not really much you can really work with. But to be fair, in the original Sonic and even Shadow Generations, all the stages were completely rearranged from their original counterparts. So to be fair, we can completely rearrange this stage to actually work within the confines of a Boost Sonic formula game. With the music being basically Carnival Night, we can even add some assets from Carnival Night to use within the level. Like, imagine the barrel recurring. That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? And if at all necessary, I might even take some assets from Puzzle Park from WatchFeed 2024. It has a similar amusement park style, and it also works because they're both made in Gary's mod. I guess on the topic of S74, the next location is Western Spaghetti from, well, Western Spaghetti. The characters you rescue this time are Tari and Meggy. I don't want to see people arguing their ships in the comments. Sure, fine, ship Mario X Meggy. I really don't care. I just don't try and shove it down other people's throats, please? Similar to Dominick's amusement park, this location's a little empty. So I thought it would be cool if we mixed assets from like Mirage Saloon, Oregano Desert, and hell, even added the Angry Sun at some point. I don't know, there's a lot of different like desert western themed levels that you can work with and use instead of just trying to make a level based off of directly Western Spaghetti. Up next is a stage that actually has enough assets we can use to make a full boost formula stage. It's Deep Sea Metro from Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion. Perlina's actually a pretty popular ship within the Splatoon community, and so I kind of had to choose a stage that represents both of them at the same time, so I chose this. This stage is actually gonna be multiple stages from Octo Expansion just kind of fused into one, because there's doing one specific stage on its own, it's definitely not going to be enough to fill the stage. The entirety of Octo Expansion, though, actually might do the trick. I also think it'd be cool if you, like, ran across, like, some of the background details, like the giant Nintendo consoles, or even, like, the fucking CDs and shit. It has potential, you know? To be fun. Imagine running on top of a GameCube, that'd be sick. Wait a minute. All aboard the train, we're going to the next metro. This time it's Yakuza Metro from A Hat in Time. Guys, I just love this game so much. I had to include it somehow. I read a fanfic a while back where it was related to Timmy and Bo Kid being like a couple, and I really liked it. So I thought they'd be like the perfect match for this stage, especially with the fanfic actually taking place in Yakuza Metro. Yeah, I know. Having Deep Sea Metro and Yakuza Metro being like right next to each other might seem like a bad idea, but to be fair, I think these two locations are very drastically different other than the fact that they're literally just a metro. Deep Sea Metro has you running across not particularly anything about the metro itself, just some of the levels that are in Octo Expansion and even some of the background details. Yakuza Metro actually has you go through the metro itself, meaning that it's drastically different from Deep Sea. The level itself would take heavy inspiration from Rush Hour because of its linearity. I don't think adding in an open world level would really work, especially considering you had to go through an open world just to even get into that level in the first place, you know? So it's definitely going to be based off of Rush Hour just because of its linearity. The next location is Sweet Mountain from Sonic Colors. The one place where you can get hit by a giant missile filled with candy. It's probably going to be feeling weird to actually play a Sonic Colors level and its first act's going to be fully 3D. I know, right? Strange, isn't it? Now I know what you may be thinking. Dominic, what Sonic characters are you shipping for this level? You don't even know. I'm not even gonna be shipping Sonic characters! Jesus Christ, I peaked my mic so much there. It's actually gonna be Kagamine Len and Kasane Teito. Yeah, I know, I'm new to Vocaloid and I'm already shipping the characters. The reason I chose Sweet Mountain to represent them is because of their character items. Kagamine Len has a banana and Kasane Teito has a baguette. Their literal ship name is called Banana Bread. That is sweet. Sweet Mountain. Get it now? Get it? I know, I just had to get one of my more recent ships in here. They're really cute. Come on, look at them. Look at them. The next one, I'm actually going to reveal the characters first. These names should sound familiar. The Collector and Sage. You recognize those names? If you know me for long enough, you should. If not, then hello, my name's Dominic, I'm a YouTuber, and since these characters are from different IPs, the idea behind this is that I'm gonna take two locations from their respective IPs and fuse them into one level. I now present to you Chronos Island / Archive House. The level will start off as Chronos Island, but halfway through the level, it will switch to Archive House. And I'll do this for both acts. And that's not even the last stage to use this concept. The next one is Okay, please don't hate me because I'm not a Xenoblade fan or a ZZZ fan. I just wanted to ship the two together one day because they both have big features. And actually got pretty popular. Like, they fucking exploded. Holy shit. Thanks, guys. I literally have CEO of Pyra X Nicole Damara on my profile, so I'll take that badge of honor to my grave if I have to. Because of that, the characters are Pyra and Nicole Damara. And the stage is Kingdom of Euralia / New Eridu. Please don't hate me if I got these names wrong. I tried my best, okay? I really don't have much to say about these because I've never actually played any of these games, so you just know that these are just two stages that are fused together into one, okay? Leave me be. The bosses! The game will be formatted similarly to Sonic Generations 3DS, so it will be 3 stages, then 2 stages, then another 2 stages, and in between each are bosses. The first boss will be Commander Tartar in the NILS statue. Considering this is right off the tails of Deep Sea Metro, it makes perfect sense for us to have this as the first boss fight. Of course, it'll be made a little easier because, well, it's the first boss fight, duh! Similar to Perfect Chaos in Sonic Generations, it's gonna be more platforming oriented, but there's still gonna be ways to attack it throughout. And it's gonna end with Pearl doing her killer whale, because it's a big set piece of this boss fight. The second boss will be after Nyakuza Metro and Sweet Mountain, and it's against Miyojima, the secret boss of a hand-timed Nyakuza Metro. Only really chosen because Nyakuza Metro doesn't have any other boss fights, and while Sweet Mountain does have a boss fight, I'm not sure that would have been a good fit for Kagamine Len and Kasane Taito. So Miyojima it is. Plus it'd be funny as hell if Miyojima said, Dominick-kun! For the third boss, I think since at this point you would have all the arrows, you would have your superpower. We'll get that eventually. Here you'd be fighting against Dragon Bellows from Watching and Dreaming, the last Owl House episode. It makes sense, considering it has a huge correlation to the Collector. Not only that, but Sage as well, because it's gonna have similar gameplay to Sonic Frontier's boss fights, you know? I think that'd be cool. Of course, this is not the final boss fight, and to an extent, not the final fight with the super form. We'll get to that when we talk about the story! The story starts off with Dominick just kind of minding his own business in Green Hill Zone. I know, but hey, at least it's just a cutscene, okay? Alright, so he just kind of minds his own business in Green Hill Zone when he comes across a mysteriously broken down machine. Once he touches it, boom, he's in the white world. Quick as that. Little did he know that the broken down machine was actually the time meter from Sonic Generations and Shadow Generations. He inadvertently turned it back to life by just simply touching it. How does that work? I have really no clue, but I just wanted to do something with the time meter. Throughout the white space, we established that I grab arrows. And considering I have to rescue ships, I think you guys can probably piece together what's going on. The final super form is Cupid Dominick! I know, sounds a little stupid at first, but the design won't have me wearing any dumb diapers, okay? That's what I was saying was similar to the Doom Wings from Shadow Generations earlier. Yeah, you remember that back at the very beginning of the video? So with this form, I'm able to take down Dragon Bellows, and then I have to fight against the final boss of the game. Withered Time Eater. Yes, I gave it the same naming convention as the Withered animatronic from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. So what? Final boss would play similarly to Sonic Generations, but there's no 2D sections, and it's not gonna play like dog shit. I probably should have mentioned this in the gameplay section, but the rings would just automatically go to you. I don't like it that the recent games kind of make the rings go around you and go into you. It's gonna make it harder to actually get the rings in the boss fight if it's gonna be fully 3D. So it's just gonna immediately go right into you. Specifically for the boss fight, it would be magnetically attracted to you, so it won't be super duper hard, you know? Instead of like, oh, I have to make sure I land exactly on the rings, not a slight inch off. That's just gonna be way more tedious, realistically. Oh, and there won't be 20 million people telling you, that looks like a homing shot! No, that's annoying. After that, I realized what my true role in the universe is. That is to actually help couples get together. Which is what I've been doing this entire time, and I've never been realizing it. Just been a funny little coincidence, am I right? And that's basically it for the game. I really don't have much more to say, but I mean, I guess you guys can like give me ideas for like the game and like what you could do differently, maybe, if you were doing this. I really don't know what I want to do for the next episode of this series, but I do have a few different ideas that, one, I haven't shared, and two, ones that I have shared, but I never really explained thoroughly. As of now, thanks for watching. Bye-bye!